Well, what you were just watching was just some few images of a trip to Italy that is upcoming that you can get in on, and we are going to tell you how. I've been joined by Pastor Catherine Short of See the World. Pastor Catherine Short of See the World Travel, and she's brought with her this time some of her former clients.
Yes, indeed.
So first of all, welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
And can you tell us a little bit about the images that people were just seeing, because that looked like a beautiful trip.
It's a lovely trip. It's in September, and Colette Vacations is the wholesale tour operator that we're working with. We're very pleased to be working with them. You must come and go to Florence, come and go to Rome, see the Colosseum, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. You have to come and go to Venice and to Milan. And why not? And enjoy 9 days.
So can we talk a little bit about the payments and pricing and some of the, I think that and maybe time away are the two main blocks that people have, mental blocks when it comes to traveling. Talk to our audience a little bit and get them more comfortable with making it seem not so massive about the payments.
To make it seem not so massive, we use a travel savings plan. And of course you have to have your deposit. But with the trip to Italy, the deposit is not due until February. Therefore, it's a $300 deposit. We can save and we can break that down to an installment of $100 in December, $100 in January, and that last $300 the first part of February. And there you have your deposit on time. Your final payment is not until the end of June. And we can now, you have now locked in the price. So you know exactly the installments, the amounts of those installments that you need to get the final payment in. And we enjoy working with our clients so that you can see that dream vacation coming into fruition. You see, and yes.
One of the things about, I do want to get to your guests in just a moment, but you know how I feel about traveling.
Yes.
Okay, because my dad was in the Air Force, and then when I was in high school, I was like, that's it, I'm done traveling, I'm not doing it anymore. And then that lasted for a good year or so, and then I was back on the road. But the thing is that when you travel, you see things in a way that you never thought possible before. We have wonderful people in our state, but the people that you meet all over the world, it's totally different experience. So we want to go ahead and meet the guests that you've brought with us. You have Lenira. Lenira, can you just tell us how old you are?
8 years old.
You're 8 years old. And Scott, I won't ask you your age, but welcome, Scott Sinclair. So Lenira, can you tell us about your recent trip that you were that See the World Travel helped book for you and your family?
Well, we were going to the Universal Soul Circus in Philadelphia, and we took a limo there, and it was very nice. And I liked how it was a nice drive there, and I experienced that doing a lot of things can be fun.
Go ahead.
Some things are a little cool when you do them, and you can, like when they booked the trip for me to go, I was really excited because I've never seen people do a lot of tricks like that.
Yeah, I didn't know about the limo. We didn't talk about the limo in the green room earlier. I can't remember. I think it's been like maybe a long time since I've been in a limo, so that's exciting that you got to ride in one. And then Lenira and I were sharing our experiences at the Universal Circus, because I went also on years and years ago, and we were fascinated by the same particular trip, which I thought was fantastic. So, Scott, tell us a little bit about you and your experience with See the World.
Well, my experience was I booked a trip to Scotland for 11 days, and it was fabulous. It was an awesome trip. Seeing things that never would see every day, like castles and cathedrals, and just a lot of beautiful things and beautiful settings and stuff. It was awesome.
Now, your trip, was it like a bus tour where you were on for a bit and then you walked around and then you got back on the next day?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was all bus. It took you to hotel to hotel. It was fabulous. It was easy. You didn't have to worry about your luggage. They took care of all that. They took really good care of you.
Was this the first time you've traveled out of the country?
No.
No?
No.
And do you have plans to travel?
Oh, yes. Yes.
What's your next trip?
Maybe England.
England?
Maybe Scotland again.
Okay.
It's just beautiful.
I've never been to Scotland.
Oh, you must go.
No, I want to go to Ireland too.
Oh, my.
Been there.
A friend of mine went to Ireland this summer. Last summer she went, and that's all we heard about for weeks leading up to it. But she was so excited. So
Yes, and something interesting about Scott. Scott is not only my client, but now he is an independent travel agent
Oh, okay.
with See the World. So he wanted to work with us as a travel partner
that's
as well.
fantastic. That's fantastic. One of the things I wanted to mention, since we are so close to Christmas also, is that if someone were trying to think of a nice family gift, planning a trip is a wonderful family gift. Because like you've talked about, it's something that you can set that price right now, and sometimes, you know, on Christmas morning you're handing someone a piece of paper, but it's for a trip. So that's maybe something else that people can keep in mind.
Yes, they can. It'd be a lovely gift to give them that gift of the trip to Italy. Because they're going in September 2013, so that's a few months before Christmas. They can enjoy September and then be back in time to tell everybody around the dinner table on Christmas and just how much fun they had.
That's wonderful. Now we have to talk about the trip you have coming up, the local trip in February of next year.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about that one?
This is going to the Kennedy Center in Washington to see Alvin Ailey's American Dance Festival. I call it a festival. This, as you know, Alvin Ailey is renowned, and they're international dance ambassadors. Their techniques are just so professional, and they're honored all over the world. So I invite everyone to come and go with us on February the 6th, so Wednesday night, to the 7:30 performance. We have arranged for orchestra seat. And transportation is all included, the parking, the tolls, just a fun evening at the Kennedy Center, enjoying Alvin Ailey with orchestra seating.
One of the things that we want to talk about with that night also is, and I'm going to ask Abin in the studio, the disc that I gave you, Abin, the second half of that has a piece on this trip, so if you could fast forward to that so that we could show that at the end of the interview. There's a break between the See the World and the Alvin Ailey piece. But that night, the February 6th performance is a celebration of a woman that I had heard of before, but I hadn't actually ever seen her dance. Her name is Renee Robinson.
Oh, yes.
And she is one of the principal, or the principal dancer of the troupe. And she is the last remaining performer who was selected specifically by Alvin Ailey. So this night that you're planning the trip is a night to celebrate her work. So that, you know,
Yes.
Anybody who's seen the Alvin Ailey dance troupe, it's just absolutely breathtaking. So.
Breathtaking.
But I hope we're ready to show that, and I want to thank you all for coming. And Lenira, when you go on more trips, you can go to a break, okay? You can come back and tell us about your trips, and Scott, the same with you also.
Yes.
Have you been to Paris?
No.
No? Okay. All right, cool. Well, when you go, you have to come back.
Yes.
Okay? All right. We want to thank you all for coming, and we want to ask if you will continue to watch. We'll be right back with more of In the Upper Room Outreach Ministries.